This May, Seattle Opera presents the return of Bizet's celebrated classic, Carmen. A mesmerizing story of obsession, dazzling sets, elaborate costumes, and iconic melodies make Carmen irresistible. Don't miss Carmen, May 2nd through 17th at McCaw Hall. Details at seattleopera.org.
Hey, come on in. So what brings you in today?
He think he know me.
A man can't make a sandwich.
He makes me sick.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just talking.
Me, my family, my dreams, all of it.
Acts on Stage presents the world premiere of Black Man Goes to Therapy. Running May 21st through 31st, this interweaving stage play tells of a reluctant wanderer's encounter with a therapist who's seen better days. Black Man Goes to Therapy is written by Jeremy Rubin and features Ariel Davis, Joshua Webb, Carl Covington, Courtney Williams, Franklin Johnson, Zakiya Carter, and Jeffrey L. Cheatham II, with direction by Isaiah Anderson Jr. This profoundly moving theatrical therapy session is an unmissable experience where the unapologetic hope is healing. Tickets available now at actsonstage.com.
One of them here, We Rise Wines. We Rise Wines, Jamila Conley, right up the street on 2nd Avenue, right up from us from downtown. Jamila. Oh, okay. Yeah, but this is great. We get it all, all over the place. We figured it out. So now we got to get extra attention here. Now, Deaunte, you're not a drinker. Well, you don't partake of the actual alcohol, but it looks like you have something here.
Oh my God, something for me.
For the nut, yeah. Go ahead. Grab that with authority.
Pop this up for the Rick Ross tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Boss. So big shout out to Jamila. We Rise Wines. Check them out. WeRiseWines.com. You know, what do you call that? Is that a tasting room? That's what.
They're a tasting room.
So the tasting room is right up across from the Moore Theater on 2nd Avenue.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah, now Ashley, you was up in there. Yeah, matter of fact, give Jamila some luck. Can we get a tight on Ashley, please?
No, Jamila is wonderful. Her tasting room is amazing. If you haven't gone, I suggest that you go. It is, first of all, it's not just a tasting room. She also is a restaurant, so you can go there and delicious food. The food is amazing. She's always curating the menu with different things, and yeah, I go.
She said, "Just go." Well, thank you, Jamila. I mean, I appreciate it because I mean, as someone that's sober, you know, being able to have something that I could be able to pop when it's time to celebrate, I'm not going to be left out. So thank you, Jamila, and make sure y'all check us out.
And she celebrates. Winemakers of color. So that is her specialty, and that is who she promotes mostly is winemakers of color. So you are supporting those that are of color, and yeah.
All right. Well, you heard Deaunte said. He said, as someone who's sober. Well, let me tell you, as someone who's not sober, we're gonna get this show on the road.
We rise.
You know, but we've definitely been lifted. You know what I'm saying? We're keeping it easier today, but we do have later in the show. We do have a serious topic here that we saw. It's gonna be after the first break. And they're talking about the crisis of black femicide. So I only bring that up right now because the first half of the show, we always have a good time and everything else. I don't want people to think that we're just going to get here and drink or not drink or maybe or whatever. But, you know what I'm saying, we got some important topics to get to. But before that, Deaunte Damper, first of all, I want to tell you this, how much I appreciate you. I broke out my Canva skills today.
What, not Canva.
And during the morning update show, I got to remember that it's been like 5-6 years. 5 years. Oh, man, my Canva game was right. Oh, man, they done upgraded Canva on a whole nother level now. But anyways, we're going to bring up slide number 1 here. This is from the Seattle Black Film Festival Kickback. At Medier. This was what day was it? Saturday?
Sunday.
Oh,
Sunday.
Well, that's number 2, but that's fine. That one works as well.
Sunday, fun day. Can I just tell you, shout out to Jess Money. Shout out to Metier. It was, when I say, you was there.
Yeah, no, I was there. You go ahead and put up the other slide too, Eric.
We had a time. I'm talking about a time just to celebrate black art, but above all else, in a black-owned business with black folks. I'm talking about we was playing spades.
Sounds hella black.
Hella black. But it was so great. I think the best part of that was to be able to see Jazz and Ebony Arunga and Taylor celebrating each other because they accomplished something big.
Right.
I mean, being 23 years of the Seattle Black Film Festival, and everybody felt involved.
Right. I think we've got a slide with Ebony on it. You got the other one over there?
Let's find Ebony, because she was, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that would be A3.
A3.
Look,
but it was good.
He's like, yeah, I don't.
What did you like about the event, Ashley?
I like that. First of all, everybody that was there just seemed to be having a great time. Everybody was in good spirits. Everybody was just enjoying themselves, enjoying the environment, enjoying the music. The music was popping. The music was popping. And the fact that, you know, we were there in a black-owned space, like you said, and we were just having ourselves like it felt like a space and an event that was strictly curated for us. And I had a ball.
I had a ball, and I'm just so happy that the cameras weren't rolling when Trina
Listen.
came
my
on.
God.
Because I promise y'all, I ain't gonna tell y'all which song I was rapping, but it just brought me back to my my laser voicemail days, and
it rhymes with the saddest rich.
The saddest rich.
Listen,
It was the saddest, and let me tell you something. Around here in the Black Media Matter studio in Converge land, you know, we all bump into Ashleigh, and it's like, hey, hi, you know what I'm saying? Have a good day.
Yeah.
All I know is at the Seattle Black Film Festival kickback at Metier Breweries, black owned, with DJ Moni. It was a whole nother Ashleigh McCurdy
It
that
really was,
came out
though.
when the saddest rich started playing, and it was, I was like, what was this?
It was so lit.
Listen, I felt like I was on the yard at the academy.
Yeah, right. I'm telling you. But you know what was so great? Being able to see like organizers such as T-Dub. We see T-Dub there.
Yeah,
T-Dub was there. We seen some folks from LRP there. We seen some folks from Surge.
Art Noir.
Art Noir. Jazz was there. But
Melvin Slaughter? Is he the
Melvin
great?
Melvin Slaughter, Lex Scope. Everybody was
Randy
in there. When I
Ford.
tell you, I didn't hear not one time us talking about work. All I heard was nothing about joy. Joy and love. And I think that that's the biggest gift that the Seattle Black Film Festival gave to us. So big shout out to Langston.
Yes.
Yeah, joy and love.
In love, I got a number.
Yeah, I
two.
kicked it there. And listen, man, you know your boy, cause you know little brown girl is up in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went home and ate good, man. I had some thank the Lord wings. You know what I'm saying?
I had the Luther.
Oh man, and then I had the prawn like whatever sandwich. Oh yeah, man, it was slapping. I only live like 4 blocks from there too, so it was piping hot when I got to the crib, bro.
See, you lucky.
Yeah, man, it was like I had the itis after that.
I had the Luther.
The
Luther chicken sandwich. The Luther chicken.
How was
that had to be
Luther?
big. That's big Luther
Don't you
chicken
remember?
sandwich. That's big Luther. Now, excuse me, miss.
Oh, that was the big
This was
Luther.
a chair is not a chair. Type of Luther sandwich. You know what I'm saying?
man.
I gotta say, man, see, y'all gonna have to give us a taste testing up in here because
Listen.
everything was good. And their root beer. Their root beer
Oh,
was
nah,
delicious.
the root beer is slapping. And matter of fact, if you go, man, now I can't remember his name. He's gonna kill me. Out there in the South End, right by Rainier Beach. Yeah, Mommy Cushy.
Oh, Mommy Cushy,
And so
yeah.
he makes the root beer float. He got the ice cream, but he makes the root beer float with the Metier root beer.
Ooh, okay. We're gonna have to have that combination.
Put you up on game.
I don't know how I'm
bro.
gonna feel about that, having that at night, but I would love for them to come here and teach us how to make some of them root beer floats.
Hello, man. Do you
That
know
sounds
this show
amazing.
is gonna go to a whole nother level when me gets back from Ireland?
Yeah, I can't wait.
we got all
Mead,
this.
I miss you.
Miss Mead.
we got all this. Hey,
Shout out to
you know,
Mead.
yeah. Oh yeah. Look.
Oh, I almost wore your jacket on an episode of We Live in Color, but I changed it up because it was just a little too much. But shout
Maybe
out to
fly. Maybe fly.
All right. Well, we think. Well, now we don't even think. We know. We had a high-powered, supercharged episode last night here of the pop-up, man. I mean, not only was a lot of Black Star Power with Angela Rye in the building and Papa Black Da Vinci, which was a great dynamic, by the way. You know,
Yeah.
we knew we had Angela, right? But we didn't know, like, who do we put next or with Angela? And it couldn't be somebody who's just the same ideology, like, you know, this and that. Like, Angela is in a very specific lane. And so it's like, you know, how do we contrast that? And, man, I think Papa Black Da Vinci last night and Angela Rye, it was just a really cool dynamic.
I agree.
Yeah, I was very moved by the discussions that were being had there.
Yeah.
We had two people that are town business.
Damn business.
And both are both striving towards the same galaxy. So just to be able to hear to listen to that intersect was just amazing.
I agree.
Yeah, no, okay. So speaking of that, we got a few clips here from last night. This is gonna be A5 right here. This one really got me. You know, we got a black screen over here, but this one really got me is that Angela talked about the Montgomery bus boycott, it was only 10% of the people who was really participating in the boycott. But the boycott was a success. You know what I'm saying? Even at a 10% of the population. So we're going to go ahead and play this clip right here.
I think the other thing that we have to remember is we have always been a powerful people. Even when we don't always agree, my co-host on Native Land Pod, our podcast, Andrew Gillum, talks about it was 10% of the people in the Montgomery bus boycotts that lasted over a year that ensured that we would be able to sit where we needed to on the bus. 10%. 10%. What? But when you hear about that historically, you're like, oh, we all did that. Yeah. But if there's enough of us who are committed, I would love for it to be all of us. But right now, we'll settle for enough. Right? If there are enough of us who are committed, we can strike a mighty blow. We can make sure that we push back for what we know we deserve.
So basically, you know, I mean, that's kind of crazy when you think about it right there, that what Angela is saying is that actually her Native Land Pod co-host said like 10% of the people push change. And the reason why I put this clip in the show, Deaunte, is you be moving with that ideology all the time. Man, it don't take everybody. It just takes some of the right people. We just right come folks. Together. Like, you really beyond that kind of messaging. And it's crazy because not until I heard that yesterday, my whole life I've thought of like all the black people in Montgomery are like, yeah, we're rocking with it. Mm-hmm. But I guess in any kind of movement, there's probably hella people like, man, I'm cool. That's going to be inconvenient. I don't want to do this. I'm not blah, blah, blah. But you know, you kind of move with that 10% energy.
I absolutely do. And 100% in the areas of my community. And I feel like as we are moving in the space, we have so many different folks that are naysayers and say we can do this and can't do that. But no matter what happens, you black, so I'm aligning. And we're going to figure out ways to align. And I think the message that Angela was trying to convey into that space is that, you know, we're a movement here in the county. Yeah, our numbers might be small, but we're small and mighty. We've been able to. We're the only county, Martin Luther King County, named after someone from the areas of civil rights. And if we can do that, hell, her daddy did it. So if we can do that, we can do any damn thing. And I just want community to continue to be aligned and know that we can all make change in that same sense. It don't matter if it's 10%. Hell, look what we're doing here in Converge Media. Look what we're doing here in the studio. You and Eric had a vision. And folks may have not learned how to agree, but they seen that we were speaking truth to power and putting paint where it ain't. And look what's happening now. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
This is true.
Yeah, it's crazy because even to speak to. No, we're talking about Angela, but to think about what Papa Black was saying about the children, like the children of today are different and that they're growing up to, you know, this generation is going to be more powerful. Mm-hmm. And to think about that it was only 10% of black people, but what a lot of people don't even realize that even with that, when you see those pictures of, you know, the black kids black people being hoes and dogs, those are children. That was the children's crusade because their parents were at work and they were afraid to go. They were afraid to march. They were afraid that they were going to lose their jobs, and a lot of their parents were already, you know, being imprisoned and things like that. So the children organized their walkout. So those were high schoolers and middle schoolers those black and white pictures that you see. And people don't realize once you look at those and see that, you know, those are kids being hoes on behalf of their parents because they wanted change and they wanted to see something different. So even when you think about the 10%, you also have to think about the children that sparked it, that decided we're going to go out there and make a difference. And their parents then came along and said, if my kids can go, I can go too.
You know, we shot a film, Converge did, a few years ago. We were down in Selma, Alabama. We interviewed Joanne Bland, rest in peace. She passed away earlier this year. Joanne Bland, she was on the front line of the civil rights movement. She talked about being, she was either 8 years old or 10 years old on Bloody Sunday. And talked about, you know, there in the Edmund Pettus Bridge, and talked about her sister got hit in the head and all this stuff. And it's very much to the fact of what you're saying. It was the young people, who are out in front. And when we talk about what's going on right now, got that for another show. But I definitely, I mean, that caught my ear last night as well. Papa Black was saying, like, nah, like these guys right now, these guys 13, 14, 15 right now, they're on a whole other level.
They ain't taking no
He
mess.
talked about like so many young people he's bumping into, like, no, I'm not on Instagram. Why would I want to put my life out in public like that? No, I'm not on TikTok. No, I'm not. It's like, whoa, But speaking of Papa Black, excuse me, Papa Black last night, this is our next clip. Man, he talked about, when you speak about the youth of today, and he talked about some of the more of the young adults. He talked about young kids, 13, 14, 15, 16. He talked about young adults. And he talked about how he grew up very poor in South Seattle on Rainier, and that's really what got him into the game. And for people who know what the game is, then it's good. If you don't, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You'll figure yourself out. But this is where he calls it the grit. This is Papa Black talking about what got him into the grit.
We grit not because necessarily I wanted these Jordans or this new PS2 that came out, or I wanted to trick off to this chick or whatever, and just that's a whole nother story. But we grit because my stomach was touching my back. I was eating sugar sandwiches. I was drinking water with my cereal, for real. There was butter sandwiches and wasn't nothing else in the house. I had to go to my auntie's house where my uncle was going to make me breakfast every single morning because my mom might not got it right now. So these are the reasons why we got in the streets. I don't get in the streets because social media told me that I got to have $100,000 by the time I'm 17 years old, and I got to be able to buy this car and blow it on this girl and buy this Gucci bag or whatever the case may be.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, he's talking about the contrast of when he was out in the streets causing chaos, and the motivation behind it was that said he was starving. He was, he said his stomach was touching his back. He was eating sugar sandwiches. It was like, man, it was a bad existence for him. And he's like, where he's having a disconnect is that a lot of people these days are just in the streets causing havoc basically for the gram.
I just appreciate Papa Black, and he's one of those folks who, he got it out the mud, but he always gives back to community. And I found over the past couple of years, even just getting to know him more, he is about making sure that these kids can reach their most positive selves. That event that we did last year, 2 years ago, remember we were both going through some stuff, but we went to that youth event, and it changed. Of course, we felt great, but watching those youth feel empowered to being on that stage. Papa Black can sell out millions of thousands and thousands of different events, but he wanted to make sure that he invested in the youth. He was just at a Solutions in Seattle event, speaking to young youth about why lyrics matter, why you have to start speaking positive in your rap lyrics and think about them and not regret them later. And I appreciate Papa Black because, he got it out the mud, but the mud ain't touching him now, and he's making sure that those kids don't touch that mud either. And I appreciate him.
You were in studio last night, Ashleigh.
Yeah. It was very inspiring to hear, just to hear his story and see where he's at and know what he's doing within the community, and how he is sparking change, and how he is, being an encouragement to young people and just people in general to be positive and make positive changes and make an impact and be a pillar of your community in any way that you can. It was very, like I said, it was very inspiring to hear and to see, and it makes you really want to evaluate and see, like, okay, well, what am I doing?
It's dope. Big shout out Angela Rye.
But I also have to say, like, Angela, can you please just let people know that you also are a singer? I got the video. I got the old videos, girls. You had the old swoop in the back. I mean, I ain't gonna do it to you, but just know that Seattle knows that you can sing. So
this is interesting.
I'm just saying. Who's to say she can't sing a track on Papa Black's track? I don't know. Sing a hook. But Angela, we know. Angela, we know that you was a,
That's
you
what
was a singer.
you got the X Files over here.
I got the file now. Don't make me play it now.
Wow.
I need you to start singing the Black National Anthem at some of these events now. Stop playing with us now. But no, I'm just so proud of Papa Black and Angela. I grew up with Angela. Angela's always been one of the most sweetest folks that you could ever meet. You know, she could be anywhere in the space, but guess what? She wanted to make sure that she came here to her people. Her even being back home just also feels like a hug. So just a huge shout out to her.
Last night I was like, yeah, it feels different because she's like here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's unfortunate that, like, of course, her parents' health is the main catalyst over here, but it's like, we're just glad that she's here.
Absolutely.
All right. So as we wind down this first section here. Now, well, it looks like we're definitely not going to see it. Our screen just went black again, but it's okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, the boss, Ricky Ross.
Oh.
Rick Ross. You go ahead and put this up. Man. It's just, we'll talk over it. That's right. Rick Ross is here tomorrow night. And, you know, so here's what I want to throw out here because they've been pushing it as Mother's Day. Rick Ross. Big shout out to Seattle Symphony. It's going to be at Benaroya Hall tomorrow. And actually, I had a whole thing here. He's being backed by the Renaissance Orchestra and the Sainted Trap Choir. And so imagine hustling, what, a 60-piece symphony and a full gospel choir behind it and a hip-hop royal coronation. And hold on, I got something in here about some lemon pepper wings. So the boss, Ricky Ross, here tomorrow at Benaroya Hall. The vibe is black tie, tuxedos plus, and Jordans are encouraged. And track-by-track orchestral reimagining of the album that started it all. Port of Miami, 20th anniversary.
Oh, he's doing Port
tour.
of Miami?
It's the 20-year anniversary
Yay.
of Port of
That's
like the best album. Track for track.
Yes.
100%. Now, he had bangers on a lot of other albums.
Deeper Than Rap is hands down my favorite Ross album. Yeah, and I would rap something right now, but no, I ain't doing it. They call me butter. They call me butter knife on the mic. I ain't doing it, folks.
Butter knife
right
is
now.
In the building.
No, but just
so what are your thoughts? You know what I'm saying? We've got violins, tuxedos, and lemon pepper wings. What are your thoughts tomorrow?
I'm excited.
Sounds like a sophisticated good time.
Sophisticated good time.
I'm ready.
A sophisticated.
I don't know what that means, but I do know.
No, go ahead.
I do know that. Hey, community, if I know y'all see me out here, but if anybody would like to donate a ticket to the Ricky Ross tour, I would love to come. I'm the biggest boss such a thing thus far. Hey, please inbox us.
Yeah.
So this is the angle, right? Because a few people would hit us. You know, when we were talking about it, there was a promo earlier, and it was like Rick Ross, Mother's Day. Rick Ross, Mother's Day. I don't get it. And I was like, listen, do you know how many mamas it is right now that became mamas because they was listening to some Rick Ross music? You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to tell you.
So, people be thinking Mother's Day, and they be thinking Big Mama in them.
Diced pineapples.
Yeah.
That was
diced pineapple. Hello.
Wait a minute now, y'all. Wait.
That was the movement.
Don't know that song.
Yes, you do. You just don't know you do. But, yes,
but I bet you a lot of grandmas ain't going out tonight for Cinco de Mayo because they want to make it to the Ross tomorrow. So
picking up priorities.
Yeah. So I just wanted to explain that, for people who are like, oh, it's Mother's Day, this and that. You got to remember, right? Port of Miami. This is the 20-year celebration of Port of Miami.
That is so
It's
crazy.
a whole lot of,
20 years. That's
and so you got to think about that. People know people whose kids is 20 years old. You see what I'm saying? And let alone everything else. So that's why it makes sense. That's why they're marketing it here in Seattle at this date around Mother's Day, because it's a whole lot of mamas that Ross was playing in the background when it was going down.
And it's just one of those things where I think he's also, catering to the fact that us as well, we like to get dressed. It's an upscale event. You're going to to the symphony. So you're going to put on your best. You're going to look your best. You're going to smell good. You're going to go and you're going to have a ratchet good time. Like I said, you're going to go there looking good, but listen to the music that you grew up on and brings back all those memories.
Yeah, I got to agree with you, Ashley. Yeah. What I have been seeing lately, but a lot of our albums that have been turning 20, a lot of folks have been doing like the symphony route with their music, which means that we are hip hop has always evolved, but just being able to play it in this arena, I think it's just great. I think one of my friends just went to a Jeezy symphony that was like this,
Yes.
And I would love to experience that. So again, if you have a ticket, please feel free to inbox us and let us know how I can support.
I'm getting the feeling. You'll tell me if you're wrong. The sanctuary is very sophisticated and all those kind of things. I'm getting a feeling here, though, that when I saw the excitement about Ross and Jeezy.
Oh, I love Jeezy. And I love Ross. Listen,
I thought you was a church girl.
I am a church girl, but I'm a church girl with hood parents, and we listen to music. And the thing about it is I have a love for music, and it's not just hip hop. It's not. I love music. Period. And I grew up with all different types of music. My favorite genre is country, just so you guys know, but it is. But yeah, so music to me is like it's a way of life. I can't think of life without music, and especially that music. Thinking of Jeezy and thinking of Rick Ross and these, hip hop artists. Those are the artists of our childhood, of our teenage years. We grew up with that music. I could just hear music right now, just thinking about walking down the hallways of Franklin and what's playing and ringtones and what's on people's MySpace pages and things like that. Those soundtracks were literally the soundtracks of our lives.
Absolutely. What was your favorite ringtone?
Couldn't afford a ringtone.
Oh, you need to stop.
Listen, it's broke.
Mine was Soulja Boy. Kiss Me Through the Phone.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, my God.
What?
That sounds about right, bro.
I mean, it was about people know the type of people I date. Trust me, that's all we could do. So I'm just saying.
He said that's all we could do.
I'm just saying. Right.
Oh
my hand on the glass,
We got one more here before we go to break. And Mr. Director, you'll tell us when this is up there, right? Carmen. Ooh. All right, Carmen is up right now. Carmen, the opera is playing from now to May 17th. And man, there's two cast, and one of the cast members who came here though, who's playing Carmen, is Janiyah Bridges, a hometown hero. Who, man, she gets it in. Eric was in here. She did an interview with Treyana Holiday, and man, she cut loose. Ashleigh McCurdy, the Sanctuary.
Yes.
The word is that Joshua over at the opera made good. And are you going to the opera this weekend?
I am going this weekend. Me and my girls are going. We're going. We're having a girls' day, and we're going to go see Carmen. I love Carmen. I love just the original. I watched the original with Dorothy Dandridge and Sidney Poitier. That is hands down the best opera to me. That was my first kind of introduction into old films. And so I love Carmen and everything that it represents. So seeing it and knowing that we have a
Sidney Poitier and Dorothy Dandridge, they did it.
It was Harry Belafonte.
Harry Belafonte, thank you, sorry.
Harry Belafonte.
You're right.
My inner gay was like, what?
No, you're right.
No.
Thank you for correcting
me. Honest to God, like
yes.
my grandpa used to watch.
Light bright.
Yes.
My grandpa used to watch WCW Thunder on Saturdays, and I remember we were supposed to be going to the movies, but he wanted to sit there and watch Carmen. So watching that was one of my memories.
Harry Belafonte.
Harry Belafonte. Thank you.
And Pearl Bailey.
Yeah.
Pearl Bailey.
And Diane Carroll.
What?
Yeah.
And a couple of them other folks.
Whoa. whoa.
You've never seen the original Carmen?
So Carmen has a whole lot more cultural significance.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. And that movie was such a big deal. You should really
you guys
watch
is
it.
acting like the Wiz over here. I was like,
well,
personally, I like Carmen Jones more than I like the Wiz.
Yeah. It's one of the it's a love story. Wow. And it's like you get to see a black woman in for me, it was like you get to see a black woman in all her femininity. And the way, she dances and she sings, and it's just an awe moment. And she looks gorgeous. The costumes, everybody just looks gorgeous in that movie. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, I had no idea. And you see, I be learning stuff here on the show.
You gotta watch Carmen Jones.
You got to. It's like a staple.
I guess I think I need to call Joshua and get one more ticket.
You definitely do. And I think everybody else should get their tickets too. Because
Exactly.
I got mine.
Look at what you're going to, Eric?
Everybody's going to Carmen.
Oh yeah,
we got our hometown hero here. Of course we're going.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. And listen, and you saw, man, go ahead and play that slide one more time.
Play it again.
Eric. Play that slide so everybody can see, man.
And make sure you go on her day. Let's be clear. She is only Carmen, I think, on the 2nd, the 9th, the 11th, and the 15th, or one of those. I got to look and see. But she has certain days. Okay. So you have to support her on her day.
Support her on her day, but make sure that you go every day. Tell your friends.
Yes.
We're going to support our friends down over there. This is a hometown hero. Yes. But at the same time, Carmen is just such a beautiful story, and we're a better space to tell it, right?
Yeah.
I
agree.
Wow, I agree. I've learned something here. I be coming in here with an abundance of confidence.
And you love the theater. So I'm surprised you've never seen Carmen. Mm-hmm. Oh, was I not supposed to say that loud?
Hey, listen, people know I'm OG Henny Loke from the block. What you mean theater? I ain't never been to no theater. Listen, we're going to go to a break right now. Before we do, we got to give a big shout out to Acts on Stage and their upcoming production, Black Man Goes to Therapy. Me and Deaunte have already decided we're going to go to the show together, and we're going to therapy.
Opening night.
That's what us black men do. So, yeah, nothing but love for Acts on Stage. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, the conversation continues. You're watching The Pop-Up.
This May, Seattle Opera presents the return of Bizet's celebrated classic. A mesmerizing story of obsession, dazzling sets, elaborate costumes, and iconic melodies make Carmen irresistible. Don't miss Carmen, May 2nd through 17th at McCaw Hall. Details at seattleopera.org.
Hey, come on in. So what brings you in today?
He think he know me.
A man can't make a sandwich.
He makes me sick.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just talking.
Me, my family, my dreams, all of it.
Acts on Stage presents the world premiere of Black Man Goes to Therapy. Running May 21st through 31st, this interweaving stage play tells of a reluctant wanderer's encounter with a therapist who's seen better days. Black Man Goes to Therapy is written by Jeremy Rubin and features Ariel Davis, Joshua Webb, Carl Covington, Courtney Williams, Franklin Johnson, Zakiya Carter, and Jeffrey L. Cheatham II, with direction by Isaiah Anderson Jr. This profoundly moving theatrical therapy session is an unmissable experience where the unapologetic hope is healing. Tickets available now at actsonstage.com.
All right, welcome back to the Pop-Up Show. I'm your host, the Big O. Joined this evening by Deaunte Damper and Ashleigh McCurdy.
Hello.
Okay, well, so we had fun in the first part of the show. A real serious topic right here. You go ahead and put this one up on screen, Eric. All right, and we'll sit here and discuss it. I'm going to read this out. Reclaiming our safety from the crisis of black femicide. This is an op-ed for News One by cultural critic and organizer Josie Pickens, who addresses what advocates call a silent public health crisis, black femicide, a term coined by activist Rosa Page. In a deeply personal piece, Pickens reflects on the heartbreaking case of 23-year-old Ashanti Allen, an 8-month-old pregnant Houston woman who was found murdered just blocks from Pickens' own front door, allegedly by the father of her unborn child, who had recently been freed on a plea deal. The tragedy underscores the devastating national statistics. Black women are 3 times more likely than white women to be victims of intimate partner homicide, and nearly 90% of those murdered by men knew their killers. Wow. Pickens argues the structural neglect and systemic failures leave black women uniquely vulnerable, turning legal protection into empty promises and too often reducing the lives of these victims to mere headlines or tragic footnotes. Man, it's kind of heavy right there coming in after the break. And, I'll be honest with you, right? Sometimes it's a big news day. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes we got people like Angela Rye and Papa Black, or even bigger stars tonight, like Deaunte Damper and Ashleigh McCurdy. So we're looking for a headline, and that one just jumped out on me. And at first, I thought I could talk about this from an outsider. I was like, oh, man, that's horrible. These numbers are bad. And I did an audit in my own life. And I remember back when I was in high school, a senior in high school, my friend June Walker, who was pregnant, was murdered by Jeff Fox. All the way back when I was in high school. And if I even think about a few years ago and this and that, there's so many black women that I know that I knew that were murdered by their husband or their boyfriend or an ex or something like that. And it brought it back home as, like a real reality to it. And so talking about it now has a little bit more impact in meaning. But, I'll start right here with you, Deaunte.
This subject's pretty heavy for me because I've lost 2 friends. I won't say their names in this space, but they know, but their families know I know who they are, and they lost their lives through domestic violence. And one of the stats in King County shows that black women are disproportionately represented among female homicide victims, 20%, despite being the smaller share of the population. And we lost over 948.
20%? Black women represent 20% of homicides in King County?
And 948 domestic violence murders were by domestic violence. So when I just think about that article, it's just also another call to action to continue to prioritize black women's voices. I want to give a huge shout out to Nature Gooding, and all my girls at the Silent Task Force, LaTanya Du Bois, who was trying to push for the Ebony Alert. Yeah. And the Ebony Alert was not just because black women are going missing, it's because of situations like this. We need to, and we know that things like FIFA are getting ready to come up. So when I think about domestic violence and I think about the violence and black women that are missing, if we have to prioritize and uplift the safety of all black women in our community, it's more than I think that we've read these numbers so much. At this point, it's time to start asking some of these people in office, specifically, how are you going to keep our young girls and black women safe? And also, this is also a call to action to our community. We have so many of our folks that be out here flaving and doing their thing, but if you're putting your hands on a woman or your partner, you need to be checked. You need we need way more accountability in our community. What do you think, Ashleigh?
I too have know people that have women who have passed away to the hands of a significant other. I think it's sad because what a lot of people don't realize is that 1 in 3 women will, suffer abuse, domestic violence or abuse. So if you think about today, there were 3 women here in the studio, and out of the 3 women that were here in the studio, one of us has suffered abuse. Mm-hmm. And for it just to think of it's sad, and it's crazier to think that women of color endure more. Mm-hmm. And it kind of hits home. It definitely hits home for me, and it's a subject that I think that people need to talk about. It's not talked about as much as it needs to be talked about. Absolutely. Unfortunately, there's like a shame when it comes to domestic violence. There's even a shame when it comes to the women that suffer from domestic violence. Those who have, it's like they hold these scars, and it's like you go daily covering up these scars so that no one knows, or you don't have to talk about it. But that's how it continues to happen, because we don't talk about it and we don't share these stories, and we are conditioned to feel like it's something that we should be ashamed of, when it has nothing to do with us. And just because we endure these things, it's not a reflection of who we are and what we've gone through. It's a reflection of that person. And that should be the story that is represented, and not what seems to be the forefront, that, it's something that, we've done.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm going to share something with you, too. I'm reading here. King County research shows over the decades that 30% of female homicide victims were killed by their intimate partners. 79% of them knew their killers. And most of the killings, 50% of those killings, happen in their homes. Yeah. What's your thoughts on those? That's that.
Yeah, I mean, all of that is, man, it's horrible. And, I mean, you kind of still got me at the first thing you were saying. You were like, yeah, in our community, we need to be accountable. And I think there's so many of us. I mean, I think that, like, we need to be accountable, but I think that we need to be courageous.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it be so much stuff to be happening. And, on the street level, we be knowing what's happening. But are we courageous enough to intercede, or to offer help, or to shelter, or this and that? You know what I'm saying? Like, in my experience, of course, not everybody's, there's very few situations where there weren't all these flags. You know what I'm saying? Where it was just some totally random thing, like, oh, wow, this came out of nowhere. That does happen, of course. But, a lot of situations, people are like, oh, here was the flag here and the flag there. And oftentimes, man, we're just not courageous enough. We're not courageous enough to say nothing, not courageous enough to intercede in things and anything else. And then a lot of times, the perpetrators are also, they also benefit from relief, comfort, and obfuscation and everything else from the same community.
Yes.
So
they go on living their lives like nothing happened. And what's sad is, it takes a lot for a woman to speak up and to ask for help and to say, this is what's going on. And unfortunately, in our community, a lot of times we're met with, but what did you do? Mm-hmm. Well, why did that happen? What did you do to allow that to happen? Yeah. Or, why didn't you leave? Why'd you stay? Why'd you this? Why'd you that? And it's not until the person unfortunately, if someone passes away, then it's like, oh, but I could have helped.
I could have helped.
She did say something, but, I didn't think it was that bad, or I didn't think he was that bad. But most people, and most women don't even, and most people, I should say, a lot of people think that, women are their lives are taken away by, guns and things like that. But after gun violence in domestic violence situations, the second number one killer in domestic violence, or the catalyst is, strangulation.
Mm-hmm. And that's a lot. And I think, and I know you said, but I want to make sure, like, specifically in this space, y'all, we are prioritizing Black women in this space. And we also just want to let community know, too, if you are looking for support, there's a National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE. You also have the Washington State Domestic Hotline at 1-800-562-6025. And there are also community-led organizations that we lift up in this space today, such as Dawn, the Domestic Violence Women's Network, as well as Harborview of Youth Trauma Center, our Girls at the Silent Task Force, YWCA, and Seattle Victim Support Team. We just want to be able to throw those out there. And of course, you could be able to call 211 as well. And our Crisis Connections community can also be able to lead you to that. But we also want to make sure that we're saying this on the line today so people can make sure that you know that we need to continue to create a bridge of accountability and, above all else, safety for Black women. And I thank you so damn much for prioritizing this conversation, because I know that right now we know that we have some friends that we walk by at community events, and we don't want them to ever think that we ain't prioritizing up in here, right here. We're saying Black media matters. That, of course, we gonna do like Jaheim and put that woman first. So again, make sure y'all share this stream. Send it to your friend who might be going through some things. Send it to one of your friends that you might want to be hold accountable. But above all else, man, we protecting Black women, not just all summer, but all lifelong.
Man, real deal, Deaunte, and also, you know what I'm saying, I know that our colleague, our live director, Eric Calligraphy, also has very much the same sentiments. Excuse me. My mama always says that we can never leave the audience in an affected state. And so on that case right there, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to wrap this show up talking about Steelhead Sunday. Okay. You're watching The Pop-Up.
What's up, Seattle? It's your boy Cuddy here, tapping in just to let you know that no matter where the place to be, King County Metro will get you to where you need. It could be a ride to the airport, whether you're taking off or touching down, King County Metro, or a game. So save yourself time with traffic and get into places like Westlake Center, Pike Place Market, or even the waterfront. Rather by light rail or bus, choose King County Metro. It's the only way to go.
Hey, come on in. So what brings you in today?
He think he know me. A man can't make a sandwich. He makes me sick.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just talking.
Me, my family, my dreams, all of it.
Acts on Stage presents the world premiere of Black Man Goes to Therapy. Running May 21st through 31st, this interweaving stage play tells of a reluctant wanderer's encounter with a therapist who's seen better days. Black Man Goes to Therapy is written by Jeremy Rubin and features Ariel Davis, Joshua Webb, Carl Covington, Courtney Williams, Franklin Johnson, Zakiya Carter, and Jeffrey L. Cheatham II, with direction by Isaiah Anderson Jr. This profoundly moving theatrical therapy session is an unmissable experience where the unapologetic hope is healing. Tickets available now at axonstage.com.
All right, welcome back to the pop-up. Very heavy conversation the last segment, but something else, and we will talk about here about the Steelheads, but I thought about it, and I was like, well, none of us are experts. You find reasons not to talk about stuff. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? Our audience, I think, will appreciate it. None of us has to be an expert. And maybe some of us are more experts than others might think. Mm-hmm. But by saying something, you see what I'm saying? And bringing these kind of issues into the conversation, into the orbit of the pop-up, I think that, our audience appreciates that. So thank you, Deaunte.
We as
Ashleigh.
Guests, or we as, hosts, we appreciate it. Be able to, give voices and actually talk about it and it not be stigmatized. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really important to make sure that we're prioritizing our community folks. Yeah. We came from a black woman. We got nieces. We got nephews. Yeah. We even got nieces and we got nephews who need to learn how to respect black women. Yeah. So and I think that so many times people watch our shows and they might come here in this space, but don't make it don't get it twisted. Right. We prioritize the hell out of black women over here. 100%. And that's all our black women.
100%. Well, in this moment, we're going to prioritize you, Deaunte Damper, because, now Deaunte missed March 29th. This was an epic, historic moment. This was the first time that the Seattle Mariners had taken to the field as the Seattle Steelheads as part of the regular rotation, right? And so Ashleigh McCurdy was there, and Eric Calligraphy was up in the suite. They was popping and big and everything. Deaunte, knowing you're probably in community helping somebody that you promised 9 months ago.
I did. It was one of those. You signed the contract. You gonna be here, and there was nothing I could do.
So you missed it, but there was another. So for people that don't know, and you should know because I talk about this almost every night. I know you're tired of it, but it's okay. I love my Mariners. You're gonna get used to it. Is that every Sunday home game with Seattle Mariners? They wear the Negro League jersey, the 1946 Seattle Steelheads. And this last Sunday, Deaunte Damper, you came to the ballpark. I think we got a nice slide that we can put up over here. I worked very hard on this. Yeah, look at that, Deaunte. Tell us about it.
Man, listen. The Sundays are for the Steelheads. And when I didn't realize, I thought that the seats where I was at was going to be way up. But it's been a long time since I've been in T-Mobile Park, and just to be able to come there, sit next to my brother Buki, man, and some of my friends and community that also brought their sons to the game for the first time, man, there was no better feeling than to be sitting there, not only being a part of history, but also having, I'm always out and about, having some time to relax. It brought back memories of when my grandfather used to take us to the baseball games and wrestling, and I was able to sit there with my cousin who brought his son for the first time, and my friend Julian who brought his son to their first game together, and my mentee Sean, being able to just sit there as black men. And when I say take me out to the ball game, we had a great time. I'm forever grateful for the Seattle Mariners. Super grateful for you for reminding me too to just relax, just come have some fun and see some of this history. If you haven't had a chance to come out to a Steelhead game, you have to go out there. There's a piece of us that's out on that field that Sunday, and I'm so grateful for the Mariners. They're changing the game up in here, and the Sundays are for who?
For the Steelheads.
For the Steelheads.
Yeah, historic. And now, Ashleigh, you've been to almost every single Steelhead Sunday, one way or another.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's such a, I grew up like Deaunte was saying. My grandfather was an avid baseball fan. He was a Mariners fan. He watched baseball. He did not. My family is very religious. My grandfather's church was Seattle Mariners Sundays. That was his church. And every day it was routine. He came home from work. He took off his overalls, took off his work shirt, sat at the kitchen table, put on his little TV, turned on his little TV, and he watched his Mariners while he ate his dinner. That was his daily routine. And that's how I learned about baseball and the Mariners, is just because that was his thing. And it's refreshing to actually be in the stadium and see the people and watch the game, especially on Steelhead Sundays, to know that that's a history there. And to know that, especially during the Negro Leagues, like my grandfather, that was his thing. He grew, by the time I was around, there was no more Negro Leagues, but to know that probably his love for baseball and his appreciation for baseball came through the Negro Leagues, because that was all we had. And then to be there in the stadium, to know that little bit of history, and I'm being able to honor him in even that little itty bitty way.
Yeah.
It's fun. And it's crazy. I go in, especially on nice days, I get a little tan. It's it's fun. It's a good time. It's a good time.
It was a good time. And I also want to just Buki Gates. Just watching his eyes was lit the whole game, lit up just with joy. And then even coming over to speak to some of the fathers, my mentee over there, even you came over there to just talk about a little bit about the history so people could also understand. But watching the joy on your face, I mean, y'all are grown adults, but I seen it's like young boys.
Not in that ballpark. It's all the adult disappears when you go in the ballpark. And, I tell people, I was like, I buy, for the level that I'm at, I buy a disproportional amount of Mariners tickets every year, because people call me all the time. And I tell them, I said, there's no greater gift that I can give you than the gift of baseball. And a lot of times people think that I'm just joking. I said, no, I'm giving you something that I love. And so I'm constantly buying. Like last week, the week before, even people are in town, it's whatever. It's like, hey, okay, people hit me like, hey, do you have anything on any ticket? I don't even be like, yeah, go to Ticketmaster, do this. It might not be able to follow. You never know someone's position. But I can always get you some tickets to go see these Mariners play and to be able to give the gift of baseball. So it's pretty dope.
And I do want to just make sure I do a real big, special, grand shout out to Shots by AB. I need to thank Adrian. Adrian B., bro, you took those pictures and the memories that you were able to give my family and my friends, man. I just appreciate you, man. Shout out to you, man. You captured moments. Anybody can shoot a camera, but you capture moments, and that's what we appreciate here. So thank you.
That's what we call him. That's Brasinio. We call him the dog.
Okay, well, I appreciate him.
The dog was out. All right, well, listen. So, Mama was right. You see, we can't leave people in an affected state. We done talked about it long enough that we're back up here with some joy.
Make sure you go to a game. If you haven't, go to a game. It's so much fun. Everybody in there is having a good time. The crowd everybody is just enjoying themselves, and you can't be upset at a baseball game.
You sure can.
You can't.
You sure can.
Listen, Eric be like, I could be upset because I be filming every Sunday. But you know what? After the 10th, you got almost a month off, so you'll make it to the game on the 17th. Yeah. Yep. So the next Steelhead Sundays on the 17th. You'll be able to go to that one.
Absolutely. What's this month?
Well, we're going to talk about that.
We'll talk to you about it. Listen, we're getting ready to get out of here. We'll go around the horn, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you, Deaunte Damper.
Yes. If you have anything you want me to know or have some questions about We Live in Color, you can reach me at Deaunte at whereweconverge.com.
All right. Ashleigh McCurdy.
Yeah, if you like for me to come to any of your events or write about you right here, or write about anything in my blog, The Sanctuary, you can email me at Ashleigh@whereweconverge.com, or you can hit me up on my Instagram at life_design by Ashleigh.
All right, man, fantastic evening with two true professionals here. Great conversation. And also big thanks to our live director, Eric Calligraphy. We're back at it tomorrow night. Right now, it's from Parts Unknown with People Unknown. But by 9 o'clock tomorrow night, we'll have it together. And until then, peace.
Bye.